Some of the hardest missions in Modern Warfare Zombie that you'll run across are the ones that sound like some of the easiest ones to do. I'm going to go through a very quick guide of how to complete the three seemingly hardest before you understand how to get them done missions that you'll have to do inside the Mother of Invention story arc. A mission that charges you to get 50 elemental kills on zombies and then 5 elemental triggers on special elites. And for some reason, they just never seem to work. But probably the most frustrating is the Frostbite arc, which challenges you to freeze hellhounds. And I'm going to show you how to get that done. Now in my backpack here, I have Napalm, Deadwire, and Cryo Freeze. Now I'm going to take these three into the zombie world and I'm going to show you how to get all of these to work and complete those missions that I mentioned ahead of time. Also, we'll talk about what Brain Rot and Shatterblast do as well. Up first, we have Napalm. Napalm is best used when dealing with a large horde of primarily fleshy targets, meaning unarmored targets. This will, of course, proc or activate on any zombie that you shoot with it, but I find that it generally does best at hitting on unarmored targets. Up next, we have Deadwire. Deadwire will cause the zombie to freeze in place and shock a lot, and eventually enough, they will instantly expire. Cryo Freeze ammo causes any zombies hit by it to start slowly freezing and stop moving. This is really good for stopping encroaching hordes, and overall, unlike the Napalm or Deadwire that will eventually straight out kill one of them, the Cryo Freeze mainly just slows them. Brain Rot is a fun modification, whereas any zombie that gets, of course, hit procced by the Brain Rot, meaning it applies Brain Rot to them, you'll watch their health bar turn green, or whatever it will be for anybody using a colorblind mode. It will turn the health bar a different color than a normal enemy color, and that enemy will proceed to fight for you on your side until eventually enough the Brain Rot expires, and then they will expire as well. And then finally, probably my favorite ammo type, which is Shatterblast. Shatterblast is an ammo type that whenever it procs on an armored enemy, it actually causes an explosion and kills the enemy and damages all the enemies near it. This is exceptionally good if you're fighting in high tier zones, as the one that explodes generally can take a few other ones with it, or at least do a good enough amount of damage, so that way whenever you are in a horde, it does weaken them and you can clear out the horde faster. If I were to go through here and rate what I think is the best to the worst version of these ammo mods, I would say Brain Rot is by far probably the best. Being able to turn even some of the special zombies into an ally for just a few moments is enough to change the difference between a horde that overwhelms you and a horde that is easily taken care of. Brain Rotting something like a Mangler or a Mimic can really turn a really bad situation in your favor. Quickly after that, into spot 2 is Shatterblast, and again, I think because just the ability to remove armored targets quickly is going to help thin out a herd, and the explosion around it causes the other ones to get weaker, significantly better at dealing with enemies around you, especially in high tier zones. Third, I think, is Deadwire, because when it does actually apply to an enemy, that one will eventually enough die as long as it's not an elite. So that just generally just helps get rid of some of the more problematic ones. Again, armored ones or light armored ones, any of those, it can really help in the long run. After that is going to be Cryo Freeze. The ability to slow down a horde that's coming after you, it will be invaluable, especially when you start getting heavily wounded or overwhelmed, or if they start coming at you from multiple sides, allowing you to get a few more just spaces to breathe and get through the horde. And then finally, I think probably the weakest out of all of them is Napalm Burst, which is a shame because I do love me some fire. The Napalm Burst itself doesn't feel like it offers nearly enough. The slow burn, sure, it can apply and cause the zombies that you're shooting eventually have to die, and I do believe that Napalm does proc the most, meaning that it can activate the most number of times with the least amount of delay between activations, meaning it can be useful for burning down medium-sized hordes or zombies that are generally just a little stronger than you, but the overall burn from Napalm is not severe enough to where I think it warrants itself a higher spot on the list. Now let's talk about loadouts that I recommend for completing these ammo type challenges inside the story mode. Now, I'm going to always recommend, if you're attempting to apply one of these ammo mods to an enemy zombie and you need it for any sort of mission, take one of two options with you. You either need an SMG or a pistol. I personally am a huge fan of going into the SMG category and grabbing the WSP Swarm. If you have the Swarm available, I recommend it highly for 2 reasons. First off, 100 round drum mag. If you've unlocked it all the way to 100 round drum mag, that is exceptional. It will be super useful because it means less reloads and more chances to, of course, apply the ammo modification. And then number 2, the reason why that is because you can also put this one into single shot. So you can take this SMG and put it into single fire, and that means you have 100 rounds of tap fire. So that 100 rounds of tap fire means you will also never have to over apply any of your modifications as well. And the second thing I'm going to recommend when you're going in with your low damage primary is something with a big magazine that you can actually burn down zombies. I have the Bruin NK9 here because I was working on unlocking stuff for it, but realistically, even if you still have your MCW from your original armory options, go ahead and throw that on there. It's a solid weapon. It'll burn down the zombies for what you're trying to do. And I'm going to really show you how to get in here and get this done. And here is the easiest way to get the dog contracts done. So we've got our WSP here. We've got a 100 round mag on it, and we've got the cryo freeze. We have not done anything to level it up as we don't want to make it too strong, but we are going to use the Ethereum Crystal on our secondary weapon to allow us to clear mobs just a little bit easier whenever we start getting overwhelmed. Now we're going to run over here into the tier 2 zone, as that is going to be the best version of the escort contract for this mission.
Someone ordering exchange vehicle. Special delivery inbound. Drop location.
Now, if you have Aether tools, you can of course upgrade your weapon so that way it does a bit more damage. But you want to make sure you leave your WSP and inside of single shot, and you want to leave your WSP as a common weapon with no pack-a-punch. The 100 round mag will make up for plenty of ammo that you'll need to make this work. And you want to make sure that, because you want to make sure you're not killing the dogs too easily, too quick, you leave it in single shot. So the dogs spawn down there. And I accidentally just froze one of the, oh, there's one of the dogs frozen. Here's another dog. Accidentally killed it. That's fine, it happens.
Switching mags.
And again, like I said before, you really aren't concerned necessarily if you beat the mission, as your primary goal here is just to be able to freeze the dogs. And of course, you just rinse and repeat that until you get through all of it. It should go pretty quickly, shouldn't have too many more issues, but let's look at some of the other missions with it as well. So we're on the escort mission. So for the escort mission, all you do is it's going to drop one of these ACVs. You activate it, and then you follow it around. It's going to attempt to take out 3 of the Aether portals. And while it's doing so, you will constantly get swarmed by zombies. So, again, for the shocked one, you really don't have to worry too much about whether or not you're too strong or too weak, as you will continue to do the shock proc on most anything. Now, keep in mind, you cannot have more than one thing shocked at a time. Meaning it's going to proc on zombies, and then whenever it gets done procking it, you'll be able to do it again. This one will be pretty easy, straightforward, because you're just looking to shock as many zombies as possible. And if you find yourself killing them, obviously you can use your pistol to do the shocking instead, but I went ahead and threw it on my MCW, as this one is a relatively easy one to get your shock procs on. It will also allow you to get rid of your special zombies, the elite zombies that you're going to be running into frequently. And if you can get it all done in one run if you run it on your lighter weapons and just go ahead and get all your shock procs in one. But otherwise, you can run a couple. It'll help you get your money up and allow you to start getting into the next tier zone if you want to try to do it inside the same one. But otherwise, you're generally going to be able to get all your procs pretty much in one go, as long as the game gives you enough special zombies, elite zombies in one go. Now again, the Core 45 is pretty good at this, but honestly, if you can take an SMG like the WSP Swarm and put it in single shot, it will be significantly better, because the Core 45 is going to still do decent damage, whereas the SMGs in single shot are relatively low, especially something with high rates of fire. If you still have Modern Warfare 2 guns, you can run the Finnick. The Finnick is exceptionally well at freezing enemies because the damage is exceptionally low, and it doesn't tend to burn enemies down too fast in single shot. Freezing the zombies with it, of course, is really easy, because especially if you're in tier 2 with an unpack-a-punch, unleveled up weapon, you'll be able to get all your freezes in generally one horde on tier 2. Just literally walking backwards and just firing your pistol into them. As far as the shocks are concerned, you can do relatively the same as long as you haven't upgraded a bunch of times like I have. That's why I recommend leaving it a low level upgrade for all your shocks and stuff like that. And then the same thing applies for brain rot. The brain rot, all it requires is that you brain rot a zombie and let it kill other zombies. So again, go right into the edge of a tier 2 zone and let the zombies literally just run around and, you know, do the work for you. It's a really, really easy time.
Corpse removed.
And that right there is the quick and easy way to complete all 3 of those missions, along with the napalm mission, which you do just the same, firing straight into the zombies with a low-level, unupgraded, non-pack-a-punch pistol with the ammo mods of your choice, whichever one you're needing. You can take the Frost into the Escort Mission and the Shock into the Escort Mission to complete your dogs and your special elites. The Brain Rots are just zombies, so all you need is hordes. And then the Fire 1 damage is also good for the Escort Mission as well. And of course, I gave you a good breakdown for all of the different kinds of ammo mods, when you should use them, and rated them as well. But if you're still relatively new to zombies and you don't understand some of the perks, I have a video for that. And I also have more videos coming in a way to teach you how to level up your guns, level up your characters and your operators, and where to find more high-tier loot and how to save more high-tier loot when you go and leave the raid so you can come back stronger the next time. If you'd like to see some more of the zombie videos, check them out up here. And if you're looking forward to more videos in the future, make sure you subscribe to the channel, as there are more to come. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else, peace.